Learning the brachial plexus super fast. So this is the typical diagram of a brachial plexus that you'll find in your textbooks. It contains roots, trunks, divisions, chords, and then the end branches. Now, a great way to memorize the divisions of the brachial plexus is by comparing it to a tree. So a tree typically has roots, a trunk, divisions. You can think of the major branches as chords and then the end branches. So that's how I memorize it. And I just think of it as a tree. In the auxiliary space, it consists of roots, trunks, divisions, chords, and then the end branches, like a tree. So let's move on to the detail of these divisions, right? So I'll keep the photo on the side and then I'll make a simplified version of the brachial plexus. So the brachial plexus it rises from five nerve roots from C5 to C8 and then T1. Now the roots combine to form the trunks. There are three trunks, C5 and C6 roots combine to form the upper trunk. The C7 stays the same and forms the middle trunk, and the C8 and T1 combine to form the lower trunk. So the three trunks are formed by the combination of roots are upper trunk, middle trunk, and lower trunk. So each trunk divides into an anterior division and a posterior division, which later on combine to form the chords. So the anterior division of the upper trunk and the middle trunk combine to form the lateral cord. The anterior division of the lower trunk stays the same and forms the medial cord later, and the posterior divisions of all the three trunks, upper, middle, and lower trunk, combine to form the posterior cord later. Now, as I said earlier, the lateral cord and the medial cord, which are both formed by the anterior divisions, the lateral cord is formed by the anterior division of the upper and middle trunks, and the medial cord is formed by the anterior division of the lower trunk. And the posterior cord is formed by the combination of all three trunks combined, and it lies posterior to the axillary artery. That's why it's called the posterior cord. Now let's move on to the terminal branches. So there are five major terminal branches that you need to remember. Now there are more branches that come off the brachial plexus. I can do a detailed tutorial on the brachial plexus later if you guys want me to, but this is just a simplified version and you just need to remember five major branches right now. So the lateral cord gives off two nerves, the musculocutaneous nerve and the median nerve from its lateral root. The median nerve is a big nerve which is formed by two cords, right? So the median nerve is formed by the lateral root of the lateral cord and the medial root of the medial cord. The medial cord also gives off the ulnar nerve. So there are three nerves, musculocutaneous nerve, median nerve, and ulnar nerve, which are formed by the anterior cords. So the posterior cord divides into two branches, which are the axillary nerve and the radial nerve. So these five are then branches that you need to remember: the musculocutaneous nerve, the axillary nerve, the radial nerve, the median nerve, and the ulnar nerve. Now there's a really nice mnemonic to remember these five. The mnemonic goes like my auntie rescued my uncle. So the M stands for musculocutaneous nerve, the A stands for axillary nerve, the R stands for radial nerve, M for median nerve, and then U for ulnar nerve. So these are all the major branches of the brachial plexus. Now let's quickly summarize it again. So there are five nerve roots: C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. The C5 and C6 combine to form the upper trunk, the C7 forms the middle trunk, and the C8 and T1 combine to form the lower trunk. Each trunk gives off an anterior division and a posterior division. The anterior division of the upper trunk and middle trunk combine to form the lateral cord. The anterior division of the lower trunk stays the same and gives off the medial cord, and the posterior divisions of the upper, middle, and lower trunk combine to form the posterior cord. The lateral cord gives off two nerves called the musculocutaneous nerve and the median nerve. The medial cord gives off median nerve and ulnar nerve. You can think of it like an M, right? And then the posterior cord gives off axillary nerve and a radial nerve. The nice way to remember it is my auntie rescued my uncle. And there you have it, the brachial plexus simplified. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. Now, you won't learn it in the first go, so I'll suggest watching the video again or trying to draw it on your own. And that's it from my side.